It is March 19th, 2025. The creator of a once thriving game is standing in his bathroom, alone and broken, contemplating with disbelief a Twitter post revealing the darkest exploit his game has ever faced, that would ultimately cause its downfall. It all started in a winter month, when Andy Riff decided to create a new game, which he would later call Floppy Flyers 1. He was inspired by the legendary game Flappy Bird, and so he took it upon himself to create the greatest game this generation would ever see, complete with never-seen-before graphics and next-generation gameplay, completely revolutionizing the video game industry and platformer genre. After 2 months of unyielding work, whilst balancing an extremely active social life and the hardships of high school work, he finally completed his creation, and Floppy Flyers 1 was born. This was the very first version of Floppy Flyers. At the start of his journey, Andy Riff didn't have a grand audience to share his game with. Thankfully, with the help of his rather small community he had assembled, he managed to improve his game, granting his loyal community various updates, adding unique features, mind-blowing graphics, and especially bug fixes. With each day, the game kept on growing, becoming more and more apparent to the giants of the video game industry. But somehow, this masterpiece still managed to stay unnoticed by the general public. But then, the 1-year anniversary update was released, and it became an enormous breakthrough, allowing the game to reach new heights along with a much larger audience. In the span of 1 month, the player base quadrupled. This was truly the best time to be alive. This is the point at which Floppy Flyers reached global fame. Numerous tournaments and competitions were hosted all around the world, reaching prize pools of over 100,000 Iranian dollars. Many new competitive leagues were created, showing off their skills by either speedrunning the game or trying to get the highest score in the game's endless mode. Unfortunately, this grand and sudden influx of players greatly challenged the developer, which was fighting for his life trying to fix all the bugs before one would destroy his game. For a while, Andy Riff was successful at his task, immediately patching any glitches that came in his way. But on the 19th of March, a new, incredibly important speedrun strat was discovered in the latest version. Despite being released over 3 years ago, only now have the various speedrunners found a game-breaking glitch, allowing you to shortcut through the entire level with ease. Somehow, during numerous years and an enormous amount of bug fixes, this one glitch managed to stay under the radar all this time. This was huge, as this level was the hardest one in the entire game. For hundreds of hours, all of the best speedrunners grinded this level, before the developer himself admitted that it was impossible for a human to beat. Only after the next update was the level nerfed, and now could have been beaten by executing numerous frame-perfect moves. The discovery of this glitch greatly decreased the skill ceiling of Floppy Flyers speedrunning, but it had other extreme consequences on the entire game's community. You see, Floppy Flyers had an endless mode, implemented in version pre-release 1.8, and some sections of the endless mode were taken from already existing levels. And one of these snippets was Hell's Tunnel, as the community has named it. Normally, this section was a true test of one's skill, as this was the only completable portion of this level. Paired with numerous frame-perfect jumps, this snippet was considered the biggest challenge in endless mode. But now, this section allowed players to get out of bounds, ruining the entire point of endless mode and consequently the whole game. Fortunately enough, I managed to interview the man, the legend, the one and only Pedro Zavaleta, who discovered this incredible glitch. So, Pedro, how did you manage to discover such a game-breaking glitch?
I woke up one day, and suddenly it came to me. The game was being processed by a quantum emulation API, of which if I could breach the firewall, I would be able to SQL modem inject the source code, granting me ultimate control over the mesh hitbox rendering system.
Okay, and if my understanding is correct, this is how you managed to find and exploit this glitch?
Indeed.
Could you explain to us how it works?
You see, I exploited the developer using Unity's advanced mesh collision function to no-clip out of bounds and out of the level. So basically, to execute this incredibly advanced glitch, you have to double tap the spacebar at the beginning of the level. As long as you are on vertical sensitivity 5 or lower, this will align you perfectly with the mesh and allow you to clip through the floor of this level, allowing you to complete it, a feat never before achieved.
And what do you think about the developer's sudden disappearance after the discovery of this glitch?
I don't know.
This indeed was very strange. The game was thriving, flourishing, and kept getting new and unique updates. And then, silence. The game stopped receiving updates altogether. Everyone was patiently waiting, anxious for what was to come. But then, nothing. Today, I have the privilege to interview the one and only Andy Riff, the creator of the legendary game Floppy Flyers 1. This is what he had to say regarding this situation. Sir Andy Riff, what do you have to say regarding this situation?
Yeah, it's pretty inconvenient, right? Because I think it will kind of break the game, but you know, whatever, right?
What kind of action will your team take to overcome this macabre disaster? And why haven't you stepped up yet to fix this glitch?
So there is a pretty good reason. So basically, you know, one day after school, I was just, you know, chilling, you know, absolutely annihilating the whole Fortnite lobby, as usual. When I kind of suddenly had to go and leave, and I forgot my SD card at school, that had the entire build of the game. So basically, I don't think I'll work on that game anymore.
As you can see, Andy Riff was absolutely devastated by the loss of the only copy of Floppy Flyers code. This moment will go down in history as the single most tragic event that ever happened to Floppy Flyers 1. I also tried to interview both legendary figures together, but it didn't work out as planned.
Oh, you motherfucking little bitch.
Following these events, the popularity of Floppy Flyers plummeted to such an extreme that the game would never recover from. This was the story of the best platformer game that died as fast as it blew up all around the internet. Nowadays, people don't even remember the legendary path of Floppy Flyers 1.